You know the saying, many are called, but few are chosen. But what if I told you that even those few, the chosen ones, are not enough unless they become gods? Yes, you heard that right. Not prophets, not saints, gods. Because the world we live in isn't just broken, it's rigged. From birth, the system is designed to strip the divine out of you, to make you forget who you are. And if you're one of the chosen, you already know you've felt it in your bones since childhood. You don't belong here. You've walked into rooms where everyone smiled, but you felt the weight of lies in the air. You've had dreams that came true. People called you too sensitive, too intense, but all along, you were seeing what they couldn't. And now you're here, searching, listening, watching this video, and wondering, why me? Why was I chosen? And what the hell do I do now? Well, friend, I have to tell you something. Something they will never say in school, in church, or on the news. You were never meant to just live and die as a human. You were chosen to transcend. But here's the dangerous truth. You won't fulfill your purpose until you become more than man, until you become divine, until you become God. I know, that sounds blasphemous. You've been taught to fear that word. But pause a second. Did Jesus not say, "Is it not written in your law, I have said you are gods"? That's John 10:34. He wasn't lying. He wasn't exaggerating. He was revealing the truth, but only a few had ears to hear. And the world? The world killed him for it. Because chosen ones who remember their godhood can no longer be controlled. Think of every story they told you growing up. Superman, Neo, Anakin, Moses, Krishna. They all had one thing in common. They weren't normal. They didn't fit in. And when they finally awakened to their true nature, they broke the system. They defied kings. They challenged fate. They resurrected what was dead. But here's the catch. Before they became gods, they had to walk through fire, betrayal, abandonment, isolation, loss. And that's what you're going through right now, isn't it? That crushing silence, the way friends drifted away, how your old life doesn't fit anymore. It's not punishment. It's not failure. It's initiation. You're not losing your mind. You're shedding your limits. And if you're still listening, it means you're ready to hear this. Chosen ones must become gods because their purpose is divine, and no human mind can carry out a divine task. Your mission isn't to fix the world, it's to transcend it, to become the new pattern, the new possibility. But first, you must die. Not your body, but your false identity. The self that was built by fear, shame, guilt, the you they told you to be. You have to let it burn. And when it does, something ancient inside you will rise, something holy, something terrifying to those who still sleep. And that's when your real work begins. But listen, before we go deeper, before I show you what exactly you must do and why the world fears the chosen becoming gods, subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay with me, because what's coming next, it's something the powers that be never wanted you to hear. But you're not just anyone, are you? You're chosen, and it's time you remembered. Why? Let's go deeper. You see, once you start to awaken, once you start remembering who you are, this world doesn't just ignore you. It fights you. It silences you. It calls you delusional, dangerous, blasphemous. Why? Because if you remember you're divine, others will too. And the whole illusion comes crashing down. You see, for thousands of years, there's been a war, not one fought with bombs or bullets, but a war for your identity. They hid your origin story. They rewrote your DNA history. They burned books, silenced prophets, and rebranded ancient truths as myths. But truth has a heartbeat, and it doesn't stay buried forever. Let me ask you something. Why do the ancient scriptures across all cultures speak of beings who fell from the heavens? Why did Jesus say, "You will do even greater things than these"? Why do legends from Egypt to India to Mesoamerica all talk about humans who walked like gods? Because they weren't legends. They were blueprints, reminders of what you once were and what you must become again. You were never meant to just worship the divine. You were meant to carry it within you. But here's where the system twisted it. They taught you that you're sinful by nature. They told you salvation comes only through a gatekeeper. They made your worth dependent on obedience, shame, guilt. Why? Because a man who fears he is unworthy will never rise to claim his throne. But hear this. The chosen ones are not sinners trying to be saved. They are sleeping gods trying to wake up. And your awakening, it's not rebellion, it's return. A return to power, a return to memory, a return to the throne that was always yours. But there's more, because just remembering who you are is not enough. You must also remember your assignment. Chosen ones are not here for fame, not for fortune, not for fitting in. You're here to be the crack in the matrix, the voice in the wilderness, the light no darkness can comprehend. And for that, you will be misunderstood. You will be mocked, even crucified spiritually or otherwise. But you must never forget, the ridicule is proof of your rank, the pressure is proof of your calling, and the fire is proof you carry something eternal. You're not here to escape this world. You're here to transform it by first transforming yourself, because only gods can give birth to new worlds. But before that, you'll be tested. And here's the painful part. You will lose everything you once leaned on, your comfort, your ego, even people you loved. But in that death, you'll discover something unshakable, something deeper than faith, knowing who you are, why you came, and what you're about to become. So the next time someone asks you, who do you think you are? Don't flinch. Look them in the eye and say, I am what you forgot you were. I am what your system fears. I am becoming what I was before time began. Because chosen ones, we're not waking up to follow gods. We're waking up to remember we are them. So now you know you're not broken, you're not lost, you're not crazy, you're awakening. And awakenings are never gentle. They tear down what was never truly you. They ignite what systems tried to silence, and they set you on a path few dare to walk. But how do you know if you're truly on this path? How do you know if you're already transforming into who you were born to be? Let me show you something ancient. There's a pattern woven into every prophet, every seer, every chosen vessel across time. Call it the blueprint of becoming. And if these 7 signs are showing up in your life, you're not just walking the path of the gods, you're becoming one. Sign 1, the sacred isolation. You've felt the pull to disconnect. People fall away. Social noise feels unbearable. Why? Because heaven doesn't speak in chaos. Before every chosen one rose, they were called into the wilderness, not to punish them, but to strip the world off them so heaven could speak clearly. Sign 2, the collapse of false identity jobs, roles, beliefs, even relationships. Everything that's built on the mask begins to crumble because you cannot wear a costume and carry divine fire. You're not here to perform. You're here to radiate, and radiance begins when the false self dies. Sign 3, the return of memory. You begin to dream things you've never studied, know things you've never been taught. You recognize people you've never met. This is not fantasy. This is your soul remembering. You are not living your first life. You are continuing your mission. Sign 4, divine discontent. Even at your highest moments, something in you whispers, this isn't it. You're not ungrateful. You're called beyond, because the kingdom you're meant to build doesn't yet exist on this earth. You are here to birth it. Sign 5, supernatural opposition. Things get harder, not easier. Doors slam. Attacks increase. People turn. Why? Because you are not a threat when you're asleep. But when you start waking up, the systems of darkness panic. Their time is short, and your light shortens it further. Sign 6, accelerated activation. Time bends. You start growing at a pace you can't explain. Books, revelations, encounters come faster and faster. You're not evolving, you're returning. And heaven is catching you up to what you already agreed to before this lifetime began. Sign 7, the God flame ignites one day. It just happens. You wake up and realize you're no longer seeking him out there. You've found him within. You speak and things shift. You pray and reality bends. You walk and atmosphere follows, because the veil is torn and the divine is now wearing your skin. Not as a possession, but as a reunion. You are what the ancients prophesied. You are the dream of generations, not to become gods who rule over others, but gods who set others free. So what now? You stop waiting. You stop apologizing. You stop hiding behind religion, fear, shame, trauma, and you rise. Because the chosen ones were never meant to fit in. We were meant to break the mold, to bring heaven to earth, not as beggars, but as vessels of power. You are not trying to become divine. You are divine, remembering yourself. And the world? It doesn't need more leaders. It needs activated gods in human skin, walking boldly, loving deeply, wielding heaven without fear. So I say this to you, if your spirit bears witness, welcome back. You were never lost, you were always sent, and now you are becoming what you always were, a god. not to be worshipped, but to awaken others. This is your season. This is your throne. And this is your return. If this message stirred your soul, it's because it was written into you before you were born. Now it's time to activate others. Share this, speak this, live this, because the age of sleeping saints is over. The gods are returning, and one of them is you.